it. I'll let you guys
Okay.
introduce yourself in 1 second. Let me just tell Joseph. What's I think if you want, you can just have people now. It should be live on your Facebook and your YouTube.
Okay.
Live now. Okay, but I'm not
On
seeing anything
Facebook, it's
on Facebook.
streaming.
Are you sure? Okay, it's streaming. Yeah, it's streaming. It's streaming.
Yep, and then
Okay,
you can
so
share from
so
there.
what am I going to do? So I'm just going to share the link, right? The Facebook link.
Yep.
Hello, Brahima, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me? And it's
Can you
also
hear me now?
streaming on YouTube.
Yeah, I can hear you. So how am I going to? I think it's streaming now on my Facebook. So what I want to know is I just get to share, right? I just get
Yep.
to share the Facebook link, right?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So perfect. Let me share now. Uh, so just give me a few minutes. Let me share to my
Okay.
phone.
No problem.
How are you?
So
How are you doing, Mr. Daniel?
I think Mr. Abraham is he also live on your own side? I don't know if your own people too can see it.
Are you referring to me?
Yes, Mr. Abraham.
Let me see. Is there a way I can hibernate this, like minimize? Because I'm using
You
the
can
same
just open
phone.
a
The
new
other phone
tab.
is inside. So
If you just open a new tab.
Yes, I think you can just open a new tab
okay.
though. I think it will still be there.
Okay.
It will still be there.
Okay.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, 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 oh. Uh, can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. I can. I
Okay.
think I didn't see that live on my Facebook. But we can go ahead if at the end of it all I could get the link, share it.
Yes.
Uh,
That would work.
but
That would work.
yeah, so that because I went to my Facebook, I couldn't see it live on my Facebook. But maybe after the discussion, I could share the link for people to because most times even people like to watch after the live. They
Yes.
prefer after the live.
Yes. No problem. So Chima, when you're ready, we'll be ready. I think you should have. Or he will share it after the live.
Just 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes. So I'm just trying to. Okay.
Okay, why 2 minutes? Just a minute. I'll be
Let me
back. Just
just
less
go
than a minute.
through my.
Less than a minute.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready. Ready. Yeah.
We'll be back in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, I think I'm back.
Okay.
Well, how are you doing, Mr. Daniel? Or is it
Yeah,
Mr.
I'm
Abraham?
cool. I'm cool. How are you? How you doing?
Good, thank you. What would you prefer, Mr. Daniel or Mr. Abraham?
All of the above. All,
Okay.
all of the above. They are all my
Okay.
name. So just go ahead.
Okay. No, it'll be pretty casual if informal in one sense. Just wanting you guys to get a chance to go share about the topic and yeah, so hopefully it doesn't seem too intense.
But why? Why should it be intense, man? It's going to be cool. I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. It's going to be cool.
Okay, no problem. Well, Chima, I'll probably give you guys a
Yeah.
chance to
Okay.
maybe share a little bit about one another and then we can go to the topic. Sound good?
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Cool. Cool.
Okay.
Cool. Cool.
Mr. Daniel, if you don't mind, if somebody just says, "Who is Mr. Daniel?" how would you introduce yourself to the audience?
Okay, you're referring to me.
Yes, sir. If someone asked and just said, "Who's Mr. Daniel?" how best would you say? How do you want us to? Who are
Oh
you
well,
to the audience?
in summary, yeah. In summary, I will tell the person my Abraham. I'm a humanist. I think that's in summary. I'm a humanist, and that's all. I think in summary, you
Yeah.
know, I'm a
Okay.
humanist. That means I'm a human being. I
Yeah.
connect with real life realities. I'm a
Okay.
human being.
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem. And you're from Nigeria, right? As well.
Sorry.
You're from Nigeria, based in Nigeria, right?
Network.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I live here in, of course, Nigeria, man.
Okay.
full blood, man.
Okay.
Full
No,
blood,
no
Nigeria.
problem.
Yeah,
Okay.
ex
No
pastor. Maybe
problem.
maybe for history's sake, we could say ex pastor, ex Christian, but in summary,
Okay.
I'm a
A humanist.
humanist.
Okay. We'll come back to our definitions if you don't mind about humanist for people that don't know that. But maybe Mr. Chima can just share
No,
who is Mr. Chima.
Oh, okay. So Chima Sylvanus. Sylvanus is actually a Latin name, while I was a Catholic. So I'm a Christian apologist. I believe in core fundamental biblical truths. Uh, I'm a defender of the gospel, and I won't refer myself with the cliche of being a pastor as what people think, because I don't own a church, but I run a discipleship movement. So I prefer to be called Brother Chima, even though it looks it looks funny to some people. So they be like, "No, you're a pastor," and I'm like, "Well, anyone." So, but my passion and my desire has always been to raise Christian youth who are zealous for the Lord Jesus. I'm a core believer, and I believe the Bible, and I'm also a philosopher, you know, and because when it comes to philosophy, before I became a Christian, if I was not a Christian, I should have been an agnostic actually myself. But through the experience I had with the Lord, it radically changed my life, and that is where I found myself today. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Chima.
Yeah.
Mr. Daniel, you mentioned humanists. For the sake of those who don't know, especially in Nigeria, I think that the word humanist might not be as common for many people. Do you mind just sharing a little bit about what a
So,
humanist is and maybe some core beliefs when you say
sorry, bro,
humanist?
Amos. Hope
Yes.
you will not introduce yourself a little. I don't know,
Oh,
so people
oh,
will know
okay.
who you
Okay,
are.
no problem. So I'm also from Nigeria. My name is Amos Tarfa, and I'm a physicist by training. So I'm a medical physicist and math curriculum writer. So basically, I do a lot of maths and physics. I'm also a Christian apostle. Love having discussions about big issues of life. So I'm glad to be here with both of you moderating this discussion.
yeah,
But
you're welcome.
my first question was to Mr. Daniel, just to bring, especially to those in the audience who are not as familiar with the word humanist or what that is compared to a Christian. What are some things that you would describe as a humanist in terms of what you believe?
Okay. Sorry. Okay. Like when I said I'm a humanist, I mean I'm a human being. I'm a human being, and it all returns back to default, like the way you were born, the physical features. you started, seeking knowledge, even from your mother's womb. So I'm a human being. When I mean a humanist, I'm a human being. I'm a human being that thrives on knowledge that thrives on facts and critical thinking. Just human being. When I mean a human being, nothing attached, just purely human being. Yeah.
Okay. So one of the questions today, the question we're looking at is
Most times,
oh, go ahead, go
okay,
ahead.
go ahead. Okay, most times people mistook me for atheist. Or maybe I may not say I'm an atheist, but I know I can I would relate well with atheists, but I am not an atheist. But I'm a human being. Just returning back to default that from the point of conception and delivery, just you are a human being. That's the definition. That's who I am. So a human being is a humanist. That's what and who I am.
Okay, I see what you mean. Would you say that what would you say you're an agnostic, or where do you stand on the question of God's existence? If someone says, does God exist, where would you say you stand on that?
God.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
The net.
It's on birth. Human beings are born, not created. So there's no God anywhere that either created things or maybe created human. No, human are born.
Okay.
My network is really messing me
Okay.
up.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Let me just ask one more thing, and then Brother Chima can go on. So if someone says
Can
in
you hear
terms of
me?
how, yes, I can hear you. Can you hear us?
I can hear you. I can hear you perfectly well.
Can you hear us, Mr. Daniel?
Okay.
Okay. So next time I'll make sure we'll send our Starlink satellites to everybody's house for the next one. What is so for both of you, how do you answer the question, where did the universe come from? How would you guys answer the question based on your response of, is there a God? How do you answer the question of the origin or the beginning of universe, of time?
Okay. So who
I
are
am
you
having
answering the
issue with
question?
my network. I didn't hear that statement completely. Could you repeat yourself?
Yes, I'll repeat it and then I'll also type it in the chat. But basically, so I think he's off. Give me 1 second.
Okay. I think his network.
Okay, I've sent a question. Basically trying to understand, how do you humanists answer the question, what created the world, or how did the universe come to be? That's my first question for him. Okay, no problem. Brother
Okay.
Chima, while we are waiting for him to join back, can you just tell us a few reasons why you believe in God? What, when you say evidence for the existence of God?
Okay. Okay.
Hello, Mr. Daniel. Can you hear us?
Okay. I
I
think
think
it's
we had a
fine because
network
I think
issue. Was it just my? Was it from me or where?
Just from you. I
I
can hear
think it's
you.
from your side. I think it's from your side. Because I would love him to be available as you know answering most of these
Yeah.
questions too.
So I just asked the question, how does a humanist answer this question? What created the world? And if the network is breaking, let me wait.
I think it's from his network because my network is quite
Yeah.
perfect. Um,
Okay. Brother Chima, go ahead. tell us a little bit about why do you believe, or what are the evidences for the existence of God?
Okay. Like I said, I would have wished he's here, you know. But I think we don't have much time. So, first of all, when it comes to the existence of God, my argument has always been, God can be proven through even the things we see. Most of the times, people tend to think God can only be seen through faith, but I go against that. I tell people you can see God from every part. God can be proven from creation. God can be proven through morality. God can be proven um, true when it comes to towards human consciousness. God can even be proven through human reasoning, desires, historical arguments. When it comes towards God proven. God can also be proven through science, because most of the times people think as though science is far away from our faith. And I'm like, no, because most of these things we see, can answer the question of God's existence. But everything depends on how objective we are in seeing these things. So if I'm to start with my argument with all I've listed, I'll take example of creationism. You find the atheist, and you find the agnostic, and who believes that the world just came, sprang up, probably through organisms, through species and stuff like that. But you see that most of these arguments is not very strong, or is not even logical to prove God's existence, simply because it fails in just natural logic. Something cannot exist from nothing. It's not possible. Even if I were to be an atheist, is going to be one of the hardest things to prove, because it is not possible. Even the human life, creations of things we see, always comes from something. This phone I'm with, has a creator. The gadgets, the laptop has someone. It has an idea. Now, a creationism, believing that God created the universe and the world, my beliefs is simply because the world is so fine-tuned and so perfectly
Yep.
designed that it takes an intelligent being to create it. Because I tell people that if I myself as a human being can be able to create something like a phone or an Android, that when you even dismantle it, you will tell yourself this thing actually takes someone that is even intelligent. You see, so the word itself, for the word to accompany life itself, shows that the word itself is an intentional creation of God Himself. And this is the more reason why I tell people no life can exist on earth except the word itself. The earth itself is built in a way that it can encompass human life, because human life itself is very fragile, that if you remove us and put us probably in the space or something like that, you find out that it will be hard for us to survive. You find out that it will be hard for human to even breathe or survive. So it shows that the creation of this world is a very intentional creation. So creationism proves to me that God exists simply because it's an intentional, beautiful creation. The universe has a beginning, like what I say, and because the universe has a beginning, we can see that even the things in the universe proves that nothing can exist on its own. If there is a starting point, there must be an ending point. And this is the more reason why. So when it comes to creationism, I simply believe that it's very logical to believe in such than the doctrine of evolution that tells you, that humans have evolved, or the world itself just sprang into life. Because at the end of the day, you ask yourself, what made it come to life? or they will say the Big Bang Theory. Then my simple analogy is this: then someone has to bang it to life because you don't expect things to just
Yeah.
happen. Except we are saying we believe in miracles or
Yeah.
magic. Because for you to believe that something just existed on its own, then it seems that it proves that you're a believer, actually. Then you believe that these things come. So one of my
Sorry, can you
argument
pause,
again
Mr.
for
Chuma? So we'll
okay.
take that one. That's good. You've given that evidence. Mr. Daniel, if you don't mind, how do you respond to the question about when people talk about the existence of God, they talk about the universe beginning or God created the world. How would you best explain how human beings have come to be as a humanist?
Yeah. Okay, as a humanist, one thing I always tell people, I listen to him, and it's so funny and very, very funny the way he was talking. Because, well, it's okay, let me just kick off. As a humanist, when we talk about the universe and that there should be a creator, we said no. It thrives on knowledge. I do not completely believe with the Big Bang, the big bang theory. I don't, as a humanist, and it is because whatever I do, I know, not believe, I know. And assumption, it thrives with knowledge in view. So I may not begin to talk much about the universe. I will start from where I am from birth. I know that human were born, and it happened at the instance of the meeting of a male and female.
Yeah.
Now, if you are telling me about a creator, then the creator must have a creator. So the chain continues. So for me, and let me tell you why I said that. Uh, Most of the things we know now that we are enjoying now, uh, if you rewind like 50 years ago, they were not in the know. The things, for instance, we have GSM and we have technology, AI, and all of that. That the platform we have that we could talk, you could assemble three of us, or maybe three of us could be assembled on a gadget that we could relate. If you rewind back to 50 years ago and you bring back the folks that lived around that time, this will be a miracle to them. This will be a wow. So, as a humanist, there are things we don't know yet. I leave it open than to assume. The life of assumption should be based on knowledge in view. If I tell you that God created, or there is a creator, I am too sure. I am very sure. That's why I said that. But as a humanist, now, of course, somebody asked me one time, okay, if who gave birth to the first person? If you are talking about birth, and my reply is always, I don't know yet, because knowledge is growing, knowledge is expounding. And as knowledge keep growing, with time we will know. It may be in the next 1,000 years. It may be in the next 2,000 years. Like I just said, some of the things we are enjoying today were things that people that lived like 200 years ago never knew. And today, it's a knowledge, it's a fact that we are enjoying. So when it comes to creator and the universe, I always tell people, I don't know yet. I still question the Big Bang. Yes, as a humanist, I still question the Big Bang. So I am not, because I'm not a believer. I'm a factual human being. So I don't assume. If I'm to assume, I assume with knowledge in view. He just told me that nothing can exist out of nothing. If nothing can exist out of nothing, then who created the one that created? Because in your Bible, God created the world out of nothing. So you see, like sometimes when I hear Christians talk, and especially people that believe in creation, when they talk, I'm like, wow, because it doesn't add up. I'm happy that he said he has a background in philosophy and all of that. That's not really my concern. My concern is whatever we say here, you should be able to convince me. You are not imposing a view on me. You should be logical enough. You should be clear enough. Not like I believe. If life thrives on belief, then I should walk into a bank and I believe I have $1 billion in the bank. So my view about the universe, like I said, is for now, science is still thriving. Humanity is still striving to know and to know and to know. So I don't know yet. But from where I started from, we all started from, we understood the meeting of a male and a female. From there, the egg, and of course the sperm fertilizer and the 9-month cycle and all of that. So for me, that's where I kick off from. For the other ones, I don't know yet.
Okay. One question for you, Mr. Daniel,
Okay.
and then Chima as well. Do you feel like as a part of life is faith and the idea of embracing things we don't understand or we don't know, is that inevitable, something we cannot escape, or are you saying it is possible to live our lives with certainty? Like we can know for sure. The reason why I ask that question is because Christians, we say we don't know everything, we have faith. Are there areas, Mr. Daniel, where you are willing to say that you also have, you believe even though you don't fully understand, like you have faith, even if it's not faith in God or
No, I don't have faith. I don't have faith. When you believe, is practically baseless. Like it has no framework. But as a humanist, I said I don't know yet. That leaves it open with some level of growth in terms of knowledge. If you said, for instance, if a Christian believe in God, the room or the opening of I don't know yet is closed. It's almost sure and certain, because if you look at your definition of faith, if you look at the book of Hebrew, faith is a substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. So and some people said, of course, when I listen to Abel folks, they tell you that Jesus is faith, that the other Hebrew 11 is a definition of the Old Testament. So whatever you talk that is based on faith is not real, and it closes the door for learning, for improvement, for growth. But as a humanist, I prefer to say I don't know yet, and assumption with knowledge in view is different from faith. I don't know whether you got that part.
yeah, no, that's interesting. But Mr. Chima, how
Okay.
would you respond?
Okay. The thing is this: we cannot live our lives based on assumptions. We cannot live our life based on guesswork. If we live our life based on guesswork, then life is not certain in itself. Because this is the thing: there are truths that are objective, except Mr. Abraham will be saying he doesn't believe in truth, or he doesn't believe 1 plus 1 is 2, or he doesn't believe black is black, white is white. There are basic objective truths, and that is what every human being believes. A boy is a boy, a girl is a girl. So the thing is this: now I quite agree, there are some things that might seem that we cannot fully comprehend. We agree, and this is the more reason why we eliminate the fact, simply because we are not God. But we are saying that there are things that can be objectively proven that it is true. Let's take an example. You cannot say that, for example, there is no wrong or there is no right. You see, we are not living our life based on just what someone said or what we think. We are living our life from a perspective that some basic truth has been ingrained in us, and we can know. You see, there are things that we can know, we can see, we can feel, we can taste. So they are not out of our reach. Why I'm saying this is that some people tend to make it seem as though some things cannot be known. And in, in a nutshell, they leave it to mystery. It's even those that say they are not spiritual or they don't even believe in God that still behaves like they believe in God, because you can't leave things to mystery. Life does not run on mystery. There are things that we can see. So I'm here to prove that fact that, for example, we can basically say that what is bad is bad. For example, we can both agree that, not just because we agree as a human, we can both agree that, there are some moral truths in this world. For example, when it comes to killing, when it comes to rape, when it comes to assault, we can both agree that these things are bad, they are evil. Now, for us to agree on those things, it shows that there is an intrinsic consciousness of what is right and what is wrong. And this is the more reason why, when we are going back, we still have to appeal to God, simply because He is the one that has factored these things into us. So Mr. Abraham makes it look as though some certain things cannot are unfound, but I agree that, like, he makes it look as if nothing can be proven to be true. But I beg to differ, because even in life there are things that we can basically say it is right, it is
Yes,
wrong.
and that was where I was gonna go next. I do see his internet dropped off again, so he'll be hopefully back in a second.
Oh, wow.
But I was gonna go to the question of morality. So while we wait, let me just go back and recap. So you started with the topic of creation, and then now you're in the realm of morality. And I think that would be interesting to look at what is the like what is the moral argument from a humanist perspective? How do we know what is right and what is wrong? Now, yeah, can you
Honestly.
list a few of those things, Chima, that evidence for the existence of God? Can you just list them, please? Just the heading of each of them, please.
Okay, just for a
Yes, just
recap, right?
recap. Let's just have them listed, please.
Oh, okay. So one of the proof that God exists is what I call the cosmological argument, and the cosmological argument stems from creationism, in the sense that the universe always
Yep.
has a beginning, and what has a beginning always has an end. Nothing just came up, which I said there. And for life to have meaning, it shows that there is a
Yep.
purpose to life. So we didn't just come and just existed in the world like that, as though we are magic. We are magical beings. Another one is the argument of
Yep.
fine tuning, where we see a perfect design on the earth, and we can basically say that the universe itself proves that the universe itself is
Yep.
well designed. So we can appeal to God. Another one is our moral arguments. We truly know that there is right
Yep.
and there is wrong. There is good, there is bad, there is evil, there is light, and there is darkness. And this moral argument doesn't even stand just towards good and bad, right or wrong. It stands towards even things we can see
Yep.
objectively. It stands towards we knowing that 1 plus 1
Yep.
equals 2. Or we knowing that a boy is a boy. It gets it. Like, how do you want to deny it? Even if you say you don't believe this is a boy, this
Yep.
is a girl, you get to see the genitals. So now, it is not we humans that is making a boy a boy. That is one thing we need to understand in moral
Yes.
arguments. It is actually something that has been intrinsically put on
Yep.
us, that we know. We have that consciousness that we know. So that stands to my moral argument. Another argument we look at, because moral argument is quite deep. Another argument we look at is the argument for consciousness. Someone is saying he can't find the link. Why? So another argument is human consciousness, and that shows that we humans, we are aware. We are aware
Yep.
of material and immaterial things. It's somewhat that, you can't say that we have no mind. We can't say
Yep.
we have no awareness to see beyond the material world. At least, even if you try to deny some certain things, there are some people that have miracles. Even the word itself, like Mr. Abraham is saying, the word just came from nothing to something. That's a miracle. That's a miracle, because anything that happens like that, it shows that it's truly miraculous. The argument from desire. This argument comes from C.S. Lewis. Desire, in that he expresses that humans have, innate desires. And these desires are not from the world. These desires has been put deep in us. Before we came, there is a desire that we have to fulfill some certain needs, that are basic to human society. These things are not just something that we can say it picked up from society. Another one is historical argument for the resurrection of Christ is a very strong argument, because we know that there are proofs, there are evidence, by witnesses, and not just witnesses, but in terms of the lives that has been transformed through the Christian faith, through the Christian truth. We can say that indeed the resurrection of Christ is true, because the Bible speaks very clear that when he's gone, he's going to send a comforter, a spirit. And if that spirit has wrought transformation, we can see billions, millions of people that lives has been transformed. It's not just discipline, it's not just basic morality. It's something that is quite deeper than that, and it stems from the resurrection of Christ by giving us his spirit. And so I think the other argument would be argument of science. So science itself is not necessarily opposite to faith. And like I tell people, science cannot prove everything, because even science itself cannot tell us how these DNA codes are being matched up to form a human system. Science, biology cannot even tell us that. So this is the more reason why even science is at the beck and call of what God has done in the human span. We can even basically see this in the book of Genesis, where the Bible says that, and God breathed his life into man. So this is not what science can do, So this would be my few arguments in the stand for God's
Wow.
creation. I don't know. Let me see if I'll get you. Okay, Abraham is
Okay.
calling me. Let me
Yeah,
see.
you
Sorry.
mute yours, please.
Okay. I don't.
While he's on the call, um, the there's a book by Richard Swinburne. So for those who are watching, I'm just gonna write this down in the chat. Richard Swinburne, in case you're interested in this topic. And if you look up Richard Swinburne, that name, he wrote a book called "Does God Exist?" or "Is There a God?" Sorry, that's the name of the book. Is there a God? Some other resources to look at: C.S. Lewis, Mere Christianity. He addresses that as well. That's another great resource. So if you're looking for resources, there's Richard Swinburne, there's C.S. Lewis. Um, is there a God? Those are great resources for people interested in Christian apologetics on the question of the existence of God. Um, in philosophy, this is a big topic. The two main arguments that Chima was talking about, you have one called the teleological argument, and then one called the cosmological argument. Those are the arguments. Is there a way for people to ask questions here? Let me see. If there are any questions, thoughts, comments, objections, let's see. Maybe if you ask it in the YouTube live stream, and then we can see, or on the Facebook live stream. Okay, sorry about that. Give us 1 second. Okay. Hello, sorry, can you hear me?
Okay, yeah. So,
Yes.
Mr. Abraham, he said his network has been an issue, but he's trying to load it
Okay.
back. I think
Okay.
just
No
Nigerian
problem.
network issues.
No problem.
So
So Chima, let me just so I was telling your audience especially about some of the different resources out there, and I look forward to when we have these in Lagos in person, God willing. So we'll have more of these kinds of conversations. Um, but tell me a
yeah,
little bit
I think
about.
we can even have it physically.
Yes,
We
yes, I
can have
think
it physically,
100%.
well planned in Lagos.
Do you think? Let's just
Because he
discuss.
stays in Lagos. We
Oh,
both
okay.
stay in Lagos.
You
Okay.
both in Lagos. Okay. Quick question. Do you think that what is the state of affairs in these kinds of topics between like Victoria Island and the other parts of the state? Does it seem like there's more of these types of conversations in one part of Lagos versus the other?
Ah,
Can you hear?
man, today is just so funny.
Okay.
Go
Can you
ahead,
hear
Wow,
sir.
me?
wow. That's
Yes.
I'm using a
it's
5G
a Nigerian
router.
fact.
I'm using a 5G
Wow.
router, so I don't know what's up. But I think it rained earlier, just while we were about to start, it rained. So I don't know whether that is
Okay.
what is obstructing the signal. But this is Nigeria. Huh? This
Yes,
is
sir.
Nigeria. I'm telling you,
Question for you,
shit
Mr.
happened here.
Daniel. Question for
Yes.
you. How do you address the question of morality? If there is, if we don't, so the thing is, let me just say this first. I know that people have abused religion. We know that people can use religion and abuse it and try to force, make people do things for their own sake. But how do you know what's right and wrong as a humanist? What's the basis for
Now,
morality?
as a humanist, religion is a no, no, no. The reason is that for you to use religion as a yardstick for morality, it means that you are either being blackmailed or twist into doing what you are doing. It's just like you are living in the UK or living in the US or even in Nigeria here. At the traffic light, or you have cameras looking at you, pointing at you, and you just stop your car. The reason why you stop is not because you are some good guy. The reason why you stop is because of the consequences that comes with beating traffic light. So when you see
Yeah.
some level of sanity in countries like UK and Europe, it's not because they are good people. It's because they have laws that goes with consequences when you violate them. So as a humanist, our greatest um, strength is our conscience. Life is neutral. Life is neutral. Our greatest strength is our conscience, and conscience is part of the human mind, which is embedded in our brain. At the point of conception, it starts growing, and that's why as you give birth to a child, even in the womb, the child begin to activate his or her conscience in terms of, for instance, if you have a pregnant wife before, you see sometimes the child will want to lie down and the mother want to sit down. So at that point somebody have to cooperate. So the mind is working even in the womb, and at the point of birth the child begins to cry. Now the crying there shows that I'm alive, life. Now the first thing is when they say give that child food, the child do not approach the food given to him or her with the ear or head. It goes with the mouth. So the mind is activated at birth. You don't need a textbook, you don't need a manual to tell you how to live your life. You have a
Yeah.
conscience, and as a humanist what we do is to activate our conscience. And that's why if you look at what is happening globally, there's a project I'm running called Humanity First. It's one of my projects to activate people's conscience. Religion do not activate conscience. For instance, if you love because God asked you to love, is your love is not genuine. You are loving because somebody asked you to. But if I love because I choose to love, that is genuine love. And that's what I do. As a humanist, let me tell you my story. I've been hurt several times, several.
I think the internet caught.
Yeah, it's internet. Wow.
Can you just tell him, yeah, if he wants to log back in, we know where he stopped. Let me see.
Okay, so people, some persons are also asking question on the
on the Facebook.
Facebook platform, and people are always telling me they cannot see the link, and I don't know. I'm sharing it to them. Like, I think your bro, what's his name?
Joseph.
Your friend Joseph is struggling to get through. I don't know why.
Okay.
Uh, but also probably when the time comes, we'll just look at the floor because this conversation continues till tomorrow also. So that hopefully tomorrow also he will be well prepared, on his next work also.
Yeah,
You know.
Joseph, I told him it's on your Facebook and YouTube. Uh, if you're watching on Facebook, yeah, please feel free to list any questions or any topics you want us to address. Um, yeah, no problem. Okay, so yeah, I wanted him to address morality because we've looked at creationism, but then there's morality. That was where I was hoping, and consciousness, of course, he's discussing that now. Um, okay, we'll come back to that. He'll tell us his story. Chima, so you've listed all those ones, and my question to you was just what do you see? I mean, in Nigeria, I feel like growing up in Nigeria, many people believed in God, but you're saying that in Lagos we're seeing something different. Is that right?
Yeah, like especially you see the idea of atheism. Well, because when he says he is a humanist, I'm also a humanist. Of course, what do you think? I think the cliche of humanism people hold on to. I don't even agree to it because Christians are humanists.
Yeah,
We love humans. We
yeah,
even have the highest standard. So I think I wanted to challenge him on that because I when people say they are humanists, sometimes they try to run away from the word atheist or
yeah,
agnostic. They don't want to be associated with that. But the funny thing is, when they call themselves humanists, I'm also a humanist because
yeah,
we Christians, we love humans. God
yep,
so loved the world that he
yep,
gave his only begotten son. So the teachings of Christ teaches us to love one another. And that's just the truth. But that's by the way. So when it comes towards over here in this part of Lagos, I feel that Lagos is one of the biggest cities in Nigeria. It's a cosmopolitan city, and when it comes to intellectuals, I think that you find them more over here. The reason why I said Lagos is that many people follow a person called Wale Soyinka in quotes. He's a Nobel writer, one of the brilliant brains, and you find that he's from the West. Now, not just Lagos per se, but Western Nigeria, especially where you find sophisticated universities like Unilag and UI, University of Ibadan. I rate these universities very high. And the truth is that you find that there is a growing number of people who are now doubting the belief in God simply because they are they think that being more intellectual removes you from the path of faith. And this is the more reason why I wanted to look for a text where Paul says, not some of you are wise, not some of you. He didn't say not all of you are wise. Because people tend to think that you can't be intellectual and be a Christian. Because you know why? Even he himself has used that word. I think me and him we had an argument at some point in time, and he was like, "Oh, you Christians!" He put something on his platform, and he said something like, "In the word Christians or religious people are not smart. They are not intellectuals." And I was like, "Are you serious?" I then gave him proofs. I gave him facts. I gave him from those that propounded theories, the Isaac Newton, from the guys that removed slavery, which is John Wilberforce, from a whole lot of people, even the Nobel winners, the Nobel Prize winners, the Galileos of this world, the Platos, the Socrates. Now, even though these people are not Christians, they were religious because if you believe in God, you're also religious. Religion is just a set of belief systems. So I tried to tell him that what are you saying? We were the ones that even more of propounded more of education. Who did it?
mm,
It's
yeah,
not even Islam. Islam was just a copy. Islam just copied the Greeks and the Stoics writings.
yeah,
Through Mohammed did that through Waraka IBN. So I was like, what are you saying? That the only thing he could say, the only thing it will look like maybe Christians not intellectual. It's simply because we base our life on faith. We don't want to prove things through reason. Doesn't mean that we cannot prove things through reason, or doesn't mean that we are not intellectual. So I think that that is one of the misconception of most of these growing agnostic or atheists. They think because we solely rely on the Bible, it shows that we are not thinking out of the box. But yet we are making them understand one thing, that even the Bible that you are talking is very reasonable.
Yep.
The Bible is not calling you to believe things without even doubting it. I don't know of other religion. I can't speak of other religion. They do a lot of nonsense there. But the truth of the matter is that the Bible is not telling you that if me let me use myself as an example. Before I became a believer, I because I went through Nabi Quresh book, his writing, and I personally, I think this guy that wrote something on faith, former atheist, Lee Strawbell, yeah, I
Yeah.
went through most of his writing. I myself scrutinized Christianity myself. I did that. I studied. I went through materials. I studied. Like I was trying to study. Like no, like I want these things to disprove what I think is even true. So whether true or right, I was very open. So it's not that Christianity doesn't invite you to doubt things or to question things. No, we are not in a cult. Christianity is not a cult. Christianity is, in fact, Christianity is based on knowledge, because the Bible says in the book of Peter, Second Peter, it says, uh, it says, grow in grace and in the knowledge of the Son. If you read the book of Isaiah, it makes it very clear. Isaiah chapter 53, if I'm not mistaken, by the knowledge of my righteous one, many will be justified. The faith is built on knowledge. Jesus, everything is built on knowledge, knowing, So when people speak this way, you tend to think that they are not informed. He's messaging me and he's telling me his message that is really annoying. Thank God we fixed this for 2 days,
The
So
network.
he has
The
tomorrow.
network.
Yes, like his network, like he's really, really, wow, wow. So
If he's able to come back on one more time just to say his final thoughts for today, we can stop after that. Just say if he can
okay.
try one more time and then we'll be done for today. Um
Wow, wow, it's quite the environment we find ourselves in.
yes,
This shouldn't be happening in a modernized world. And you get to subscribe, you get to do everything, but yet sometimes the network here is,
yep,
you know,
I understand.
is just
And
so poor. Okay, so he wants to try again. I was like, let
okay.
me try again.
Yeah, once he comes out, let him just share and then we'll wrap up. Um do you have any ongoing conversations about these topics already happening right now?
Like I said, the truth is this: many of them are not as bold enough as Abraham. That's the truth. But many of them, this doubt has started resonating in their mind. And even Christians is not just. I think the Western world is crazy. It's quite crazy. We understand that, because people tend to go to church and just feel like, God is just there. He's not doing anything. Because another thing is, there are some set of people that believe in God, but they are agnostics. They just
Yeah.
believe God is there, but we don't know if he's really doing anything. He's just
Yeah.
sitting down there. And they are in the church. Why there are a set of people, like the humanists? Why there are a set of people a little bit confused? They really cannot tell, so they don't want to brand themselves. But because they feel that society might punish them, because I'm one of the people that don't that believe that, eh, whether anyone is religious or non-religious, they should be free to work. So there's nothing of being scared. Be open. There's nothing. Nobody should punish anyone for not believing. This is not like Islam that wants to punish people for leaving the faith or something like that. No, no, no. We Christians believe that even if you don't believe, and that's why we are Christian apologists. We believe that we can prove to you, not just only by faith, philosophically. So I think most of these people are in universities, they are in schools,
Mhm.
they are in some intellectual gatherings, but sometimes I think they are not that open, like the way Mr. Abraham is, who is very vocal. He has started a podcast over here in Nigeria, trying to, show that he disproved many people from the faith. And one of the things why I decided to challenge him was that he's very intentional about Christianity. If you check his platform, everything is just, you know, and the funny thing is that most of those people he tackles, they are the people I also tackle as false prophet, maybe the prosperity guys and people like that. Because the truth is this: I tell people, don't judge a faith by just the adherers alone because they are good
Right.
at bad. Judge a faith by the owner. Like, judge a
The
faith
tenets
by
of the faith.
the, the tenets of the faith, the
Yes, sir.
leader of the faith. Yes,
Mm.
Jesus. Was there any time Jesus was not loving? Was there any time Jesus, when you look at his life, he was not moral? Was there any time Jesus, he didn't prove that human, you claim to be a humanist, but was there any time Jesus didn't love his brothers or love his neighbors? You see, so you tend to bring out the bad eggs because they are we are not living in a robotic society where everyone has to respond in one way. As long as there is free will shows that people can be good, people can be bad, even in the faith. So being a Christian or coming into the Christian fold, as he always bashes Christianity, is not a guarantee that you would end up being the standard of what Christianity teaches or what the faith teaches. No, you see. So I do tell him, judge a faith by the leader of the faith, not just only the people. And when you say the people, I like to use my own life as an example. So I think there was someone that one day said, all you preachers are the same. You people are all looking for money. And I'm like, well, as I know, I don't collect tithe. I don't even collect offering in any of my meetings. I've never. I'm serious. I can boldly say it. You can go there. It's just people who believe in what I do and wants to support me. Fine, and that is just even by faith. Why? I work with my hands. I work. I do
Mhm.
other things. So I tell them that I like to use myself as an example because I think the atheist and the agnostic only bashes Christianity from those people who are more materialistic. So I don't want to call some names and say, oh, you see, it's just all about money. They have been worshiping these people like God. Religion is just an opioid to control people. Then you have some set of people who has a very bad historical understanding of Christianity. They tend to tell you that, oh, Christianity is just a slave man, a white man religion, is the Europeans. And I say Christianity is not Europe. Christianity is even Asia. You see, it's even
Yep.
Asia, the Middle East it came from. So they say, oh, they tend to, oh, the colonists. The colonists are the one that brought it. And I'm like, oh, are you serious? The colonists are not the one. The missionaries brought it. But the missionaries even used the colonizers to enter into Africa to preach. Now, if the colonists were using them for another gain, it's up to them. But they that came in, like most of these missionaries that came in into Africa, like Livingstone, like even Mary Slessor, you could say it from their life that they were not tools of westernization over here. You see, rather, if people who hold on to traditionalism, you also have a set that hold on to traditionalism, we should be killing children by now. But who stopped that? It is still the information of the Christian faith, education faith, that these things are wrong. So I tell people when they say, oh, Christianity is this, Christianity is, but I say, okay, go back to your idol worship. Start slaughtering people, start killing. You see, and this is what, funny enough, this is what atheism preaches. Because let me give you an example. What's his name? Charles Darwin, that discovered evolution. Evolution for me is just the survivor of the fittest, and that's what I wanted to tell him. That is what Hitler used to actually gauge people, because Hitler used this mindset of, because if you read Charles Darwin theory, he was more like species will grow, one will be stronger, one will be bigger, and the society, one will have to fight for power. So you see, it's more like a tussle for power, because in his view there is nothing like morality. He denies morality. So if it is that one, it's the survival of the fittest. The strongest will win. Why do you think that Hitler eliminated those weak people, those people who are religious? He felt that religion is bringing weakness into the nation. They
Mm.
needed strong people. Even if you were amputated, Hitler would kill you. So you see that atheism is not far from traditionalism. They want to kill. They want to do all sort of atrocity, and they know these things are morally wrong. Not
Mm.
just because someone says it, but intrinsically, there's something deep in them that tells them that this is wrong. And why do I say this? Even Hitler himself, that tries to behave as though he didn't believe in God, even when he was slaughtering a lot of Jews, he actually pardoned one of the Jewish, he is there in the icon, one of the Jewish guys that helped him, I think was his chef or something like that when he was young or so. He
Yeah.
pardoned him. Why? Because he still had would I say it, some human feeling and some sympathy towards that guy.
Yeah.
That shows that he is also moral.
Yeah.
You see, those who try to think that there is no morality in the society, morality is ingrained by what people teach. They themselves don't practice these things.
Yeah.
It is
So let
not
me
true.
stop there, Chima. If it's okay, let's pick it up tomorrow. No,
Okay,
no,
so
no,
so
just
he
one
said,
second,
oh,
Chima.
sorry,
No, no,
sorry,
no, no, no,
it
that's
was
fine.
like, it was like,
No, I was
oh,
just
it
gonna say,
was like,
Chima. Yeah, yeah. Can you give me one
oh, can you
second?
hear me?
So what I think is, let me pause at this point, and then I think that you guys can sort. I'll let you talk with him off camera, and then let's connect back tomorrow at the same time, if that's okay.
But he
No, no, no.
just sent me.
I
Can you
can,
hear
I
me?
can. Yeah,
He
yeah. That's
just
fine.
sent me
That's
a
fine. I'm
message.
just saying, because he still needs to work out all the details. Let's just have the audience meet us back tomorrow. But you and him just talk offline and sort out, whatever he needs, and then we'll be tomorrow again. What do you think?
Okay. But there's something he just messaged me right now. Like he could still
Okay.
join.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
just
Let
wants
me.
to work on his
Okay. Do you
data.
want to
Let him
pause
work on his
your
data.
audio and just work on it, and then I'll wait here while you do that, while you and him talk.
Okay. I don't know, how do we do it. What about so there are some questions on the comment section. Maybe let me sort let him just recharge
Okay.
on his other data and join.
Okay.
Then we
That
can work
sounds
on
good.
it. So
Okay.
maybe just few minutes.
Yeah,
Or
yeah, that's
can this be
fine. That's
paused?
fine.
I
While
don't
you
know.
do
Can
that,
this
let
be
me just
paused?
go to the questions quickly. Um, let's see. How does the universe come to be? That's one of the questions. While you work on that, let me just look
Okay.
at
So that's good.
let's see.
Okay.
Um, let's see. Why abandon a belief with clear explanation for one without a known explanation? That's an interesting question. Um, Kai, some of these ones are wire questions. We have to come back to them. Let me see. Okay, no problem. Let's see. Well, thank you to everybody who has joined us. Mr. Chima will be back here in a second, and we'll wrap up today's meeting. So we're about to enter the last segment of the discussion for today. Let me go back to one question. Someone said, "How does the universe come to be?" And I think Mr. Chima has explained creationism as one option, which I believe as well. But then the other option is people talk about materialism, which will still beg the question, what made the beginning to begin? So those are some things that we'll address in more detail later. Let me go back. Mr. Chima just dropped off, but he'll be back shortly, and then as well as Mr. Abraham, Daniel Abraham. Let's give them 1 second. So please give us just 1 minute as we get back to do our final response for the day. Hello, sir. No problem. Welcome back.
Yeah,
Do
sorry. So I've been speaking with him. So hopefully he should join soon. He's trying to use
okay.
another network.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much. We'll
so
do that. While we're waiting on that, can you just tell us a little bit about your ministry for those who don't know about Pure Generation Movement or just any of the other ministries you're involved with? Actually, can you
oh,
pause?
okay.
Pause that. Let me try getting it in.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Hello,
my!
sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. You're about to
Yeah.
tell us your story.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Can you hear
Yes.
us?
It's not loud.
It's not
Okay.
so
Can you hear?
loud. Check from your side. Bro Abraham, bro Amos, check if it's loud from your side.
It's loud on my
Your
side.
speaker. Oh, okay. How come it's
We can hear
looking?
you, Mr. Daniel. Can you hear us? Sorry, I can't hear
My
you.
volume is on the highest. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Can you hear me?
Okay, let me leave and join again. Let me leave and join again.
Yes.
My volume is on the
Okay.
highest.
Yes, yes, yes.
My volume is on the
Oh,
Yes.
highest, but
bro Amos, can you hear me? Can you hear me
I
now?
can hear you. Yes.
Okay, but it seems like your
He's
stuff is
gonna
not
join.
loud. It's not
For
so
me?
loud like it was before.
For me?
Check your earpiece. It's not so loud.
Can you hear me?
I'm not even using.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Put your mic closer. Yes,
Okay.
put it
I'm not
closer.
using head. I'm using it directly. I'm not using a headphone.
Can you hear us?
Oh, okay. But we can hear you. Mr. Abraham, can you hear us now?
Yeah. Okay. Let me get a Bluetooth. Let me get a Bluetooth.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, okay.
Um, so Chima, you were
But
mentioning yeah,
okay.
tell us a little bit about what ministry are you involved with?
Okay, so the Pure Generation movement is a discipleship ministry, and we don't run a physical church because one of my mentors is Watchman Nee, and Watchman Nee in China before he was persecuted, he ran an underground church. So I don't
Yeah.
believe in physical church per se for now. So I always believe I'm a discipler, so I believe in lives being transformed. Then go to your church and transform, because what we really need right now in the Christian faith is people to be armed in the truth,
Yep.
discipleship, righteousness, people standing on the truth. So that is what we do. So we have programs, meetings, once in a while, just to encourage the brethren. Then you can go to your church. So I just run a discipleship ministry, and
Okay.
over
That,
here in Lagos, that's what we
that's
do.
excellent. Excellent. I grew up in Lagos, and so Lagos, Victoria Island, Ikeja area, Oshodi, those were some of my
Wow,
places. And then FGC Lagos, Ijanikin, Badagry.
wow, wow.
Yeah.
But I
Do you
agree.
do a lot of your work just online then?
Like, for now, yes, but actually, we always have camp meetings. Every let's say for 4 months, every quarterly. Then we
Okay.
towards the end of the year we have a conference.
Okay.
Where we do more like a retreat.
Where do you
So
do
I
that?
just keep it simple. We do that in camps. Sometimes we
Okay.
use the SU camp, Scripture Union camp, and sometimes even in my house we just have a nice fest. So I'm not really so much. My desire is just to please the Lord and just to teach
Yeah.
the word. So I'm not in for however the Lord wants to take it.
Yeah.
Fine. But I have a lot of online people actually.
Okay.
So, but the problem is that most of the times they are scattered in Nigeria and different countries. So
Yeah.
sometimes it's more like the online teaching that helps more than
Yeah.
the ground most of
Okay.
the time. Yeah.
No problem. Excellent, excellent. Okay. Well, the Facebook group is called let me see, give me 1 second. It's called Pure Generation. Let me see.
Yeah, we have a Facebook group also. Mr.
Sorry, can you hear
Abraham,
Okay,
us?
I think. Yeah,
can
I
you hear
can hear
us
you
now?
guys now, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I can hear you. Can you hear
good.
me,
Yes.
Hopefully
man?
tomorrow this will be different. Tomorrow this will be
Let, let,
different.
let, let- look at where I hang my 5G. Look at it.
Yes.
I had to hang it
Wow.
somewhere up for it to work. This
Wow.
man, this
Wow.
country is an asshole, man. It's an asshole. I think the Airtel seems okay. You sent me data for the Airtel. Man. Sorry for all the
Yeah,
wahala, man. Sorry.
What
yeah,
you
yeah.
were
No
Okay.
telling us your
problems.
story, sir, as we wrap up for today. You wanted to tell us your story. You said something about your story and
Yes.
then the Wi-Fi.
Okay. Yeah. I was talking about the conscience, the human conscience. We don't need external monitor, or like having somebody with a stick on your head for you to do the right thing. When you have such monitoring, you become a robot. Become a robot, and that's what most religious folks are doing because of the threat of the fear of hell, or the joy of going to heaven. They do right thing or they do wrong things. But as a humanist, we try based on our conscience, and conscience is activated even in the womb of the mother, because our conscience is part of our mind, which is part of the brain. So as a humanist, whatever we do, we are doing because we know it is right. We are not doing because somebody told us it is right. Religious people love because they are told to love, but we love because we need to love. So I think that's where we differ, because if you see a Christian, yesterday some Christian folks came out to protest, and they said they will be arresting people that are like maybe talking against men of God. So you see how they do things. So, but as a humanist, we can't do that because we got conscience. Conscience allow people to be free. People should be able to air their opinion, express themselves. I think that is that. I don't know whether I got my point.
Oh, oh, wow, wow, wow. Uh, yeah, very much. Are you there?
I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
I can hear
I
you.
think that there are things.
Can, yeah, we can hear you, Mr. Daniel. Did you finish? Oh, sorry. Can
Yeah,
you
I
hear
think
us?
he's done.
Yes. Today is really funny. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, okay. So yeah, no, you explained the conscience. I didn't know, brother Chima, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I wanted to ask him a question though. He said we love because we need
Okay, go
to
ahead.
love. So he said we love because we need to love. So my question is, why do you need to love? If at the end of the day, if at the end of the day you don't have a moral obligation to love, why do you need to love anyone? Like, because when you
Because
say
your
is
conscience,
your conscience. Okay, so your conscience teaches you to love someone.
your conscience, absolutely. The nature of
Okay.
love thrives solely. If you look at even animals, they have no manual. I have seen a dog, and the other day I saw some puppy running after their mama, and the way they were sucking the mother was exhausted, but because of that love for her puppies or for her children, she had to just oblige. So even you can see among even all the animals, there are no manual. This thing is embedded. So when you begin to use our law, begin to think that this is how you do that, you become a robot. You are no more yourself. You are no more yourself.
So what you are trying to say, I want to get you. So you believe that we have an intrinsic, we have an intrinsic moral value
I,
and a
I don't
responsibility
believe.
to love, right?
I know.
Oh, the network. Oh, I can't hear you well. Hello, sorry, the network.
You,
Can you hear us?
So, bro, Amos, can you hear me?
Yes, I
Can
can.
you hear me? He was talking of the need to love. So, what I wanted to tell him is what informs your need to love. Because the thing is this is that there are things that are ingrained in human, intrinsic in the human development, that is not just society. Like for example, what informs what is right and what is wrong is not society. What informs me loving my neighbor, and not hating my neighbor, is not society. So he tries to categorize it with animal, but animals don't love, because animals even eat their cubs. Right?
Yeah.
So I would not see a human being, a father that would openly eat or cook his baby and would justify it as being morally right. You
Yeah.
see, because when he's saying this thing, then it shows that this is the more reason why we appeal to God's existence, because we are created in his image and likeness. And the image of God is to love. Now he's saying
Yeah.
conscience. Who informs the conscience? Because if that's what I wanted to ask him before he left. Because when
Can you
he,
hear me?
I don't know if he's back.
Yes.
When he says, okay, we can hear you, we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm
The
back.
conscience.
I
He had a
think
question.
Okay,
today's okay. Go ahead with your question.
Oh, Chima, you had a question for him about
Go
love
ahead
and
with
conscience.
go
okay. So
ahead
so you
with your
said,
question.
you said the need. You used the word, the need to love is informed by our conscience. So what I want to ask is this, who
Absolutely.
actually, what informs your conscience? Oh my network is also lost. Sorry, let me load my phone again. My network is lost.
We can hear you. Can hear you. So Chima, can you hear us?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can
Yes.
you hear me?
1 second.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Yes.
Nothing informed the conscience. Okay, nothing informed the conscience, and you need to calm down.
Okay.
And anytime I'm talking to Christians, one thing I tell them is to learn how to calm down and not be hasty or not be emotional. If you look at animals, I just gave you an example of even ants. Ants. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Continue. I can hear you.
Even ants. The other day, I saw some ants on a procession, and I just use a stick to block their route. Do you know what they did? They rerouted. If, even animals have conscience. They don't need a Bible, need to be told. They don't need a God to tell. The human brain is built with a mind. That mind has a conscience. That conscience is what tells you it's right from wrong. You don't need a God anywhere to tell you. There's no man, human being invented him, just like my brother is talking, my distinguished brother. It doesn't exist anywhere. Your conscience is your compass, like your brain boss. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I can hear you. So are you done? Are you done with what you just said? So now let me ask you a question. I've listened to you, because when you look at the
Yes.
human conscience, like you said, probably you feel that the ability, the need to love is being informed, automatically by default, right? Like we just came with a conscience, so we know what is good and right, right? I want to get you clear because I want to
We
ask
know
you
what
questions.
is good
So we
and
know
what is
what is
right.
right and wrong already.
We
Also,
know
we
we
already
know
know,
what
right?
is right. We
No
know
one
what is
informed
right.
us.
Yeah, we know. Yeah, no one
O-
informed us. No
Okay,
one. No
so
one. We choose to do what
no one
is the
informed us.
opposite. It's a choice. No one. No one. Nobody informed anybody.
Okay, okay. So you use the example of an animal. So let's say an animal. Does
Yeah.
an animal have the ability, to actually because according to Charles Darwin and even your evolutionary, to I don't know, you said you don't believe in evolution. But the thing is that
I don't.
it's
You
also
see,
said that
like I
we are
told you, like the premise
okay.
I said, I'm a
No,
human being. Most of the evolution theories are still subjected. I work based on knowledge. I don't believe. I know. I use the word know. I know. If you listen to me anytime I'm talking, I work based on knowledge. And as a humanist, that's how we thrive. If you look at the animal, if you look at animals, if you look at whatever you train, like animals, even a dog, even a lion, all of them got conscience. All, except when people
so
want to go against their conscience.
okay, okay. So I was trying to get somewhere. The reason is that I'm trying to be
Okay.
careful not to associate you with some certain things, Darwinism teaches. But it is believed by many people that humans are higher animals. For example, because let's take an example. An animal actually could freely eat
Evolution you are
its
talking
cub,
about now.
its children. It could. Hello, can you hear me? Hello,
I can hear you. I
is
can
it
Yeah,
hear
there?
you.
yeah, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
you talk about animals eating
Okay,
its children. Animals
so
eating its children.
yes, so an animal could freely eat its children, and at the end of the day, that which they are doing, it is impossible for a human being to actually do such. If you can't find a father
It is not
beating
impossible.
his or her
It is not
child,
impossible.
see,
It is not impossible. It
so
is
no,
not impossible.
no, not that. Sorry, not that they cannot do it. But the thing is this: they deep down in their hearts, in their conscience, like you say, there is. They get to know that this is objectively wrong. The reason is that my view for morality of right and wrong is not informed by society. It's something that has been ingrained in us. It doesn't just come automatically. Ingrained in us, and who gives us that? It is actually a creator. It is God. Now I
No
appeal to God
creator. No,
creating
no
us with
creator. It's birth.
such nature.
Now,
No, it can be there.
now,
Nothing can just
distinguish.
create
Chima.
itself. I don't
One
know if you
second,
get.
Chima.
Chima.
Hello.
Yeah,
Okay,
Chima,
go ahead,
listen.
Mr. Daniel.
Listen.
okay,
I want you to be calm.
okay. I can hear you.
You know why I
I
said
can
you should
hear
be
you.
calm. Yeah, I know. The
All
reason
right.
why I said you should be calm is because sometimes when you're not calm, maybe because of too much reading and too much acquisition of knowledge, can keep you off track. And that's why I love logic. I love logic. Uh, this thing,
Okay,
even
so
if
I'm
you are
hearing
not
you.
informed, if you're not okay, if you're not even formally educated, you know what we are talking about. So nobody from by default, you know what is wrong and right. It's a choice to do the opposite. And that's why the human nature, you see, empathy, it's natural. The other day, I just gave you an example of a little baby, a newborn baby at 001. When you look at the baby, as the mother stretch her breast, the child do not go with the head; it goes with the mouth. The child is not taught. These things comes with the brain. The human nature is automatically wired for that. You are talking about animals eating their babies. Human beings, at one point, we are doing that. Do you understand? And that's why I said knowledge is part of humanity. What we don't know, we become victim, we become slaves to to our ignorance. So when you are talking about there's a creator, there's no creator anywhere. The human brain. If somebody has to tell you to do something right or wrong, then you are not a human being, you are a robot. And for instance, Christians or Muslims or whatever religion that you may belong to, They do right and wrong because of the reward that comes with it, whether negative or positive reward. As I have one wife and just one wife, I've never cheated on my wife. It's I'm no manual. Nobody is telling me don't do this, don't do that. My conscience have strong empathy. If you follow me on Facebook, you see how people insult me. If you see sometimes I just throw tantrums on them. It's just joke. In real sense, if you meet me, you'll be shocked. And my wife is here, I can call her, she'll talk with you. So I don't need a manual to guide me. I know what is right and wrong. And that's why I said most of the country that looks sane, it's not because these people are sane, it's because they have laws. And these laws have, if you violate the laws, it comes with consequences. Like our brother, which country are you? The
The
one at the middle.
US. The US.
Sorry?
The United States.
Oh, do you know I can't hear you? Which
I can
country are
hear
you?
you. United States. Uh,
Which
United
country?
States. United States.
What's happening?
United States.
Which country are you in? I'm struggling with my
United States. Can you hear
audio.
me?
Today, not today.
Can you hear?
United
Can you
States.
hear now?
Which country are you in?
United States. Do you see United States?
This thing is painful.
I think it's
Very.
your audio. But can you hear us?
Oh,
Hello, can you hear us now? Because I just wanted him to finish, before I also spell out
I
mine.
hear.
Because I'm just patiently listening to him.
Yes. Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
Can you see? United States. Yes. Can you hear us?
Which country are you? Which country are you?
United States.
Okay, United States. Okay, you said United States.
Yes.
For instance, the
Yes.
United States. In United States, most of the reason why you think you have a sane United States, it's not because you have the people there are sent. It's not. It's not because you are sent. It's because your laws are working. If someone violates the law, there are consequences. You have cameras
Yes.
everywhere to monitor violators or folks that violate. And that's why people think countries like US, UK, and most of these European countries and Asian countries are working. The human nature is best without any of these laws. But because of how people have trained themselves to go against their conscience, and that is why these laws are in place. But these laws do not really define who we are. Who we are is our conscience. When there's no camera on you, when there's no police guy on you, and you can still do the right thing, that is when you are really a true humanist.
Okay.
My problem today is mine.
So I want to be sure because I'm just patiently listening to you. So I want to be sure that you're done, before I come with an explanation, though.
So we're landing our plane, though, Chima. So, uh, yeah, he stepped out. Let me see.
Okay. I don't know why his network is is this bad? Because I just wanted him to to finish speaking, before we can have before I can interject him. I don't want to interject him
Okay.
like that too.
Well, let's go ahead
So
with the wrap up there, Chima. Mr. Daniel is back. I've added him here. So Chima was just going to
oh,
share a word.
is it there? Is it there? I think
Yeah,
he's
I'm here.
left.
I'm
Are
here.
you there? Ah, wow. His network is just so bad. It's just so bad.
Okay,
Okay.
Okay,
I'm here.
So go ahead, sir.
okay. So I think I've listened to you perfectly, and well, I think your if I could base your views, they are a little bit different. Because it is good you believe in morality to some extent from what you're saying.
I don't believe in
Definitely.
morality. There's no belief.
No,
I don't,
do you know what
the
I
word
mean by
believe
morality?
alone do
Are
not.
you No, wait. That's why I say I allowed you to speak because I wanted to get you. So, do you believe there is right or wrong? That's why I was asking you question. I was just
No,
patient.
there's nothing like right or wrong. Life itself is neutral. Life is neutral.
Oh,
Like
okay. Because you okay. So let me ask a question. So if I murder someone, if I assassinate a whole family, is that right? That is normal. Is it
now,
is it
now,
wrong? Is it
now,
wrong?
at that instance, now listen to me now. What
Okay.
happened there? Life itself is neutral. People come together to make laws to govern themselves.
Okay.
Your conscience guides you. Now, if the law of of a place of a society said that if you murder somebody, it's a crime. It is a crime, but it is not a sin. It is not a sin. The sin there is maybe against a god or some angels or Satan, but it's a crime. It's a crime, but not a sin. I don't know whether you got
Okay.
me. So
Okay. Now.
the
Okay.
conscience. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I get you. What you're trying to say from your argument is that if someone does this or that is informed by society, going against the laws and the laws of the land. That's what you're trying to say. So definitely you get punished by
Yeah, it is the
offending. You go to
laws.
prison. You go to jail. Also, I get you perfectly. Now this is now the question. So even if a law says this is bad, because my argument is that it is not the law, it is not society that informs what is right or what is wrong, irrespective of the punishment. Now, I'm not even talking whether it's a sin. Now, that one is even deeper. Or I'm not even talking whether it's because of God says this is this. This is my argument now. Is that even if society says that rape or says that killing someone is right, for example, that does not make such right right. What I'm trying to spell here is this. That is why I said that
I,
objective
I like
morality,
like
or,
like
sorry,
sorry.
sorry,
Let
let
me.
me finish. Sorry, let me finish, sir. Let me finish, sir. Objective morality is independent of society. That is why it is objective. That is why when I started, I said that black is black, whether the government tells me black is black or society, whether all human beings gather and say 2,000 million years. I'm a historian by profession, so they say, oh, everybody, let's agree that black is going to be white. It does not change it because objectively black is black. So this is why I'm making the fact that objective truth is independent on its own. It stands on its own. And that is the more reason why I believe that what is bad is bad. Because if this is like this, not just society, if this is like this, you find out that the human race, will be built on survival of the fittest. But it is not just about the human race now. That's why I don't want to go to Charles Darwin. Since you don't believe in Charles Darwin, I will have propounded his theory to you and showed you what he believes. But I don't want, let me not go there. But what I'm trying to say is that this shows that human being intrinsically is ingrained. Now, thank God you said you believe in conscience. Me, I believe conscience is informed by a superior being, because no human being can have this kind of logical thinking to know that this thing is wrong or right. You agreed on conscience, but later you changed it. So that's why I'm saying that irrespective of society, right is right, wrong
No,
is
no.
wrong.
Calm down. You
Okay.
see, uh, distinguish. Maybe because of
Okay.
the way my network was breaking, my line
Okay.
of thoughts were not well communicated. Uh,
Okay.
get to my point. I don't
Okay.
believe that human beings have conscience. I know human
Oh,
beings have conscience. I know human beings have conscience. And the conscience I am talking about came to be from birth. From birth, as a child is born, children are born with conscience. Nobody puts it there. It's part of the human mind, the human brain. So when your conscience tells you what is wrong or bad, but life itself is neutral. When I mean neutral, nobody can, like the objective laws you are talking about. Who informed the objective laws? Human being did that. Human being
no,
informed them.
no,
And
no.
I watch,
I
Go
oh,
ahead,
disagree.
Mr.
No,
Daniel.
it's not human.
no. That's why I said we're having a
Hello.
slight. It's not. That is why it's not human being that informs objective truth. That's why I told you that. Okay, let me give you an example of objective truth.
Okay,
Do we have a boy?
who informed objective truth? Hello, hello.
Okay, that's why
Can
I
you
said
hear me now? Can
let
you
me
give
give
me
you
an
an
example
example.
of an objective truth?
Okay, yes, exactly. Just calm down. You will listen now. Now, for example, we have both male or female, and what categorize what a male
You say
is
what?
simply the genitals. We
Male
have
and female.
male and female, right? Like male and female. Human beings now, male and female. Now, it's not just the name that makes male and female. It is
Do
actually
you
their
know?
genitals. A woman came with vagina. That's what makes her a woman because she has a womb.
Yep.
So the name, sorry, please listen to me. The name woman came from womb, woman. Wait. So why I'm saying this is that so that you don't say, "Oh, it is humans that give names." What I'm making you understand is that
Can
that is an
you can you
objective
can
truth.
you can you
I'm
calm down?
explaining to
Calm
you. I'm
down.
just explaining to you. No, I'm
No,
calming down. I'm
your
only
explanation is
explaining to
not
you.
clear. Let me tell you now. Let me tell
Oh,
you.
if it's not clear, let me explain
Our
it better
distinguish
to
at the
you.
middle.
Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
no, don't worry, don't worry. I got, I got your explanation.
Okay,
Can you hear me?
okay,
Yes, go
okay,
ahead, Mr. Daniel.
I got your explanation. But what I'm saying is that your
okay.
explanation do not make sense. Now,
Oh, okay, okay.
my distinguish at the middle,
Yes,
my
sir.
distinguish at the middle reside in the US. Huh?
Okay,
Yes.
Yeah, reside in the US. And if you understand the woman concept and the male or the male and female concept, even in US, it's literally altered now. That I read recently where a pastor said, "Ladies and gentlemen," and I think he was sanctioned because some of these things now are literally altered when it comes to sex, either male or female. And that's what we are talking about. When you are governed by either laws of the society and all of that, when you are talking about objective truth, there is nothing literally like an objective truth because at one point or the other it will be subjected, and whatever is subjected, after a while you could come up with something different, like what they are doing in US and Europe now. People are
But
changing
that
genital.
but that's
but
where Mr. Daniel. I hear your
that is not the
example.
argument. But no, sorry. Your argument is totally far from what I just said. I said that
No,
society. No, see, so no, that's why I say get me right. When I say objective truth, it is what we can see. You can't deny this. Now, even if the US decides to change the laws, it does not change what is true. For example, let me ask you a simple question: does a man have a vagina? It's simple. Like I'm not making this up. It's simple. We have seen it. Does a man have a
wait,
vagina?
can
Yes or no?
you see? Hello, hello.
Okay.
I want you to understand what we are talking about. And that's why anytime I'm talking, I will tell you to calm down, because I have seen folks that have both the vagina and the penis. Are you hearing me? Now,
Hermaphrodite.
Okay.
I have seen folks with the vagina and the penis. And that's what I'm saying, that whatever informs objective truth can be reviewed. And like country like America, they are reviewing it. So when you said an objective truth is static, is set like a rock, I said no. Human being makes this, make them whatever you can call objective truth. And the example you cited is not good enough. Maybe look for another example to
Okay,
for
okay,
me.
okay. So
You know.
I told you about. Okay, I get you now. But I told you about rape, for example. That rape, when someone rapes another person, is it right or wrong? Or is it a
Now,
right thing?
now
Because
this is
because
what
it's not just society
you,
that
you
makes it
see.
wrong.
You see, we are literally. Let me calm down, calm down. We
Okay,
almost
okay,
deviating, but I will still reply you. What you call rape in Africa
okay.
may not be rape in some Arab countries. Do you understand?
Okay.
What you call rape in US may not be rape in Africa. So, like I said to you, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you. I can hear you. I'm hearing you.
So yeah, so when you are talking about objective truth, it is highly subjective. A rape case in Nigeria may not be a rape case in China or in US. So anything you are talking about, learn to be contextual, because at the end of the day, whatever you said, objective facts may just be a mere opinion,
No,
because somebody
but
will tell you,
again, I'm not even saying whether rape is punishable by the law or not. I'm asking a
no,
question, and I'm
no,
saying
I
that
am
is
not.
it right?
For
No,
instance, for
no.
instance,
So me,
for
I'm now
instance,
saying,
for
I'm now
instance,
saying that
So sorry, one second, Mr.
irrespective of
Chima.
society. Okay, I'm
for
just saying.
instance,
Sorry. Okay, okay.
Go
I
ahead.
wanted you
for
to get me
instance,
well. Okay.
for instance, if a guy and a lady have they've been going out, and maybe that on a particular day, the lady seems not to be in the mood, but the guy is in the mood, and the guy penetrated her. Now, some society will define it as rape. Other society may not define it as rape. So the concept of rape cannot be classified as an objective truth, because, for let me give you an instance. In my locality, I'm from Benue State. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
I'm from Benue State. I'm an Igede by tribe. Now, I don't know whether they still practice it, but before now, if a young guy sights a lady that he likes, now what they do is they will take the lady, and maybe when the lady maybe is in the marketplace or maybe riverside or somewhere, they will just hijack her and take her straight to the compound of the guy and perform a ritual. That lady, whether she likes it or not, she becomes that guy's wife. Whether she likes it or not, she may even return back to her parents' house, but her parents will return her back to the guy's house. Do you understand? Now, if that
Yeah.
happened in the US, they'll call it rape. But in my society, in my locality, it is not rape. So what you call an objective fact may not be. That's why I said look for something that
No, I'm not.
we can
That's
hold
why.
as an.
That's why. Okay, that's why before Mr. Amos called me, I was trying to say something. I wanted to inform you
Okay,
exactly that this is not. I don't know if you are listening. I wanted you to understand this is not
I'm with
again.
you.
I
I'm with
get
you.
you about what society. This is not about what society. I thank God when you started, you said something about conscience. You said when you started that the humans from birth, they have a conscience to know what is good and what is wrong. Is that not what you said? Am I wrong? Now, I now asked you a question.
Yeah.
I don't care what society, what Benway, what anybody says. Now, I'm saying right now, if the example you're giving is just another example. If they are in a relationship, that one, anybody can call it anything. But I'm saying that if I come and another person's wife, I intentionally barge into another person's wife, even in the man's presence, and I rape the person's wife, and I slaughter the children. Now, I'm saying objectively, is that right or wrong? Now, even if you say society, that's why I want you to understand right or wrong. Now, I'm not talking whether society claim it. Even if the society says it is right, it doesn't make it right. What I'm trying to say is that it is not society, it is not government, it is not even you, it is not humans that decide what is objectively right or wrong. It is actually intrinsical values that has been placed in the human. Now, this is more reason why you are appealing to is just conscience. Me, I'm appealing that now that's another different argument. That actually what puts that information is actually God to know right or wrong. Because if it's that, what you are trying
Now,
to say
now,
is
now,
there is no
now,
right or wrong. But
now,
even you yourself,
the
when you look
point you
at
are
it,
making. Sorry,
you will say,
I hope I'm.
is it right or wrong? Is it right or wrong? That's what I'm asking you now.
Now,
Okay.
let me. You are talking about objective right or wrong, and like the example you cited now, and that's why I tell
Okay.
you whatever we talk about, whether right or wrong, is subjective. Now, if you look at your Bible, God by people,
Okay.
by a whole community, a whole country, and and before God it was right. Before God it was right. Do you understand? Now, a young girl called
Okay.
Mary, a young girl that have never met a man, she was betrothed to a guy, and the guy told himself, I'm not going to have intercourse with this lady until the right time. According to your Bible, the angel went and had whatever, the Holy Spirit had whatever with the lady, and she became pregnant. For you, it is right. So when you are talking about righteousness or whatever, there is no objective right. And I can go on and on and on.
Yeah.
No, see,
They
Mr. Abraham, sorry,
Well,
sorry,
let him
sorry
finish.
again. For
Chima, let him
example,
finish.
sorry, one of the okay, it's done. I think it's done because he cited an example from the Bible. If you notice, I don't even want to start with Bible with you, but I'm just going
No,
normal
no.
logical.
We are
You
talking
see,
about life.
now,
Excuse
no,
me.
no,
Excuse me.
now,
You
okay.
don't you believe in the Bible anymore? You
So,
believe in the
so let
Bible
me go
now?
to the religion. Now, let me go to the religion part. Let me
No,
even go there.
even
Let me. No, I get you. Let me go there. For example, during the 1945, 1944 to 1945. Let me ask you a question. Um, the Jews. Adolf Hitler wiped off 6 million Jews. 6 million Jews in the concentration camp. Now, one of the mindset of Adolf Hitler, that's why I wanted to bring evolution theory, is that he believed in wiping away the weakest in the society. For example, he believed that religious people were very much weak and they will not help in the society because of their belief in God, and it might make them very weak or something like that. So you wipe them. Now, what I want to ask you is this: that which Adolf Hitler do now, is it right, morally right, to wipe off a whole society just for the sake of trying to eliminate the lower class? Because what I'm trying to say right now is that right or wrong is not informed by what society says. It is informed by something that has been intrinsically put in us by God. That's just it. So is it right for what Adolf Hitler is
you
doing,
see,
exterminating the Jews?
distinguished Chima.
Okay.
As you are talking, I'm laughing. I'm laughing. You
Okay.
practically shot yourself at the leg. You know why?
How?
You
Okay.
are here.
Okay.
You are here condemning Adolf Hitler of wiping over six
Okay.
million Jews, but you read in your Bible how God overthrew Egypt, destroyed, killed by Pharaoh and the Egyptians, overthrew them in the Red Sea, and you celebrate. You even worship and thank him. So when you are talking about societal morality, you are literally boxing yourself, because
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Whatever you are
I can
telling
answer
me,
the question.
Chima, 1 second. Go ahead, Mr. Daniel.
Okay.
if you read through your Bible, because you are talking about God instilling morality. If you read through your Bible, if you are telling me what Adolf Hitler did over wiping over 6 million Jews is wrong, it means your God is wrong. Your God pied a whole lot of people in the Bible. Like if you read from between Genesis to Revelation, you see where God by people. Now, if you are condemning Adolf Hitler, you have to condemn God for because and all the prophets and all the folks in the Bible that the warriors that by people. So when you are talking about, and that's why I keep telling us the standard and yardstick for morality is not given to humanity by God. It's our conscience. And most times when we go against our conscience, we do terrible things. We do terrible things. The laws we see are temporary. The laws we see, like today I watched a documentary, I think yesterday, in a country in US, at a gas station, the young lady was refilling her car with her boyfriend, and another guy came to approach the lady, and her boyfriend maybe he suspected something, and the next thing the boyfriend came out, confronted this guy. The next thing, the guy brought out a pistol and fired him, just shot at him. So when you are talking about morality, you ask me what the guy did, is it right or wrong? So if I said he's right, maybe there will be a law there that enable it. And that's why I said, whatever when we are talking about morality, it is subjective. Very, very, there is no truth, objective truth. No, my brother. No. Don't go there. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Okay. Let me
So we
just
can we
answer
can
the
pick it
question
up
you
on that.
raised about God.
Yeah, I'll let you finish, but
Okay,
then yeah,
okay,
if we can wrap up shortly,
okay.
I wanted to just leave that name, Paul Copan, because that topic of Egypt you brought up and so on, that's a big topic question of like what happens in the Bible, talking about
Yeah, yeah. I wanted to
civilizations.
help him answer it
So
also.
no, I wanted
Yeah,
to say,
yeah.
I mean, so Mr. Daniel, we'll come back to that one maybe tomorrow also to respond to that. But go ahead, Chima, and then you guys can have maybe 1 or 2 minutes just to wrap up on your case for
Okay.
does God exist? Go
Okay,
ahead,
so
Chima.
holding on objective morality, because there are a lot of people listening. You see, one of the things is this: it is not even the Bible that makes me know what is right or wrong. Let me put that correction. Even if let me, because there is a misunderstanding, and maybe tomorrow I will have time to do theology of explaining most of the battles that happened in the ancient time and self-defense, and why everyone, when two people are fighting, if someone wants to terminate a whole generation, and if I terminate that person, someone wants to kill my family and I shoot that person, I've not done any wrong. It's self-defense. But that's even on that thing. But let me just stand on this objective case. What is right is right. What is wrong is wrong. For example, one of the things why I gave a thesis. I think during my master's time, I wrote a thesis, and I literally, maybe I'll publish it. I literally countered theory, theory of evolution. It's just a cheap theory, to be honest. Even Darwin himself was a confused guy, because how do you say human evolved through species? Now, when you use most of these species you find out that they themselves, the animals, have a very they, are, they have a very minute understanding, because for we humans there is a purpose to life. You see, everything that has a beginning has an end. Nothing can just come, because life itself, no, let me just finish. Life itself shows that there is a purpose. There is something deeply inside the human that is looking for something out there. There is this desire, there is this information that there is something to explore. You see, because at the end of the day, we are not just here to count space or time. We're not just here as a result of organism matters mixed together and just formulate themselves. It's not possible because the kind of design the human body, the human mind, the human philosophy has, it's beyond just organisms mixing together. This is the more reason why I strongly believe that without appealing to the creator, you cannot have a strong moral view, not just society. Because I tell my friends that morality is not defined by society. That at the end of the day, I assassinate a family, society will punish me for that. But because I have a conscience deep down in my heart, I know that this is wrong. Simply because there is a consciousness, there is an awareness, there is an intrinsic value that has informed us. This one, society does not need to tell me, And other things, what I tell people is that when it comes to what makes me a believer, I strongly believe in the resurrection of Christ. I believe that Jesus rose and died. Because one of the things I tell people is that if you think just the Bible itself is a make-up story, then I tell people, oh, wait and let it see if it's transformed people. I use myself as an example, because I see a lot of people, even Mr. Abraham does this kick against preachers and stuff like that. I tell them that, you see, you don't judge a religion simply by the followers, you judge it by the leader. And I tell people, was there a time Jesus wasn't loving? He calls himself humanist. I'm also a humanist. I don't accept that term. I refine that term.
You are
But me,
not.
I'm
You
also
are
a
not.
humanist.
You are not.
So
You can be. You can be.
we love humans. We love humans. I love humans. In fact,
No.
Christianity has
No.
the higher value for human life. You see, I was asking him about death, killing. He couldn't. He said that at the end of the day,
No.
nobody
No. No. No.
defines it. There is no
You
right
see.
or wrong. No, you were just trying to say there is no right or wrong. I'm
No.
trying
No.
to
No.
say
No.
we Christians,
You were
we
not
are
asking me. Calm down.
Okay.
See,
Sorry,
Chidi.
one second, Chima.
Sorry, Chima.
Chima.
Chima. Chima, calm
the
down.
network.
Calm down.
The
And that's
network.
why I know you talk very
The
fast. You
network.
talk very
But
fast,
I was giving
and
my
it's very.
closing speech. I was giving my closing speech now.
So, Mr. Daniel,
You will still
Chima,
be
this
yours.
is Chima's last words, and then you go ahead, Mr. Daniel. Go
This is
ahead,
my
Chima.
last one. So let me
What
just
do you
buy
think?
something. When you have your time, you will give your own speech.
Okay, 30
So
seconds,
what I'm
Chima.
just trying to say, what I'm just trying to say is that we Christians have the higher moral value and standard to uphold life. And that is why we believe life is precious. That is why we kick against a lot of immorality in our society. I'm not talking just sex or anything. I'm talking about the morality in our society. We have this value simply because we uphold God's nature. And the Bible is clear. For God so loved the world. And we know that God is loving and God is kind simply because we can see his attributes in the world, and that attribute is even in myself, and I've practiced that same truth. I don't know of other person. Yeah, thank you.
Amen. Well done, Chima. Okay, Mr. Daniel, your closing remarks.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I love the way he's talking, and if you watch him talk, you just when I watch him talk, I feel so pained. The reason why I feel so pained is because most of the things we do, we don't even know why we do them. We just do. We don't know until we step out. The other day, I was talking to somebody, and I said, "Put your two legs in a bucket. If you have a bucket before you, put your two legs there. Can you carry the bucket?" The person said, "No." I said, and I told the person, "Step out of the bucket." Can you hear me?
Yes, sorry.
Go
Yes,
ahead.
we can hear you. Sorry.
Okay. Okay. And I told the person, "Take your legs out of the bucket. Can you carry the bucket?" The person said yes. So most times when you are deep down in religion, you don't even know what is happening around you. I have been deep down like you. So when you talk, I just with compassion. Because when you tell me, when you were talking about death, you were only using that as an example. You were not asking me a question. And that's why I said we were digressing when we were talking about objective facts. And I told you the human mind has a conscience that comes with us, and nobody, it is not any God that put it there. Because when you talk about the theory of evolution and all of that, if you said God, there is a reason for creation, and somebody is behind creation, who now created the creator? You see, there's always that gap factor. You just keep shifting the post, And when you talk about Christian upholding morality, let me be very honest with you. I've been a Christian for over 30 years and a pastor for 20 years. When it comes to immorality, not even fornication or this, the Christian are the worst set of people. You know why? They know that anything they do within a second, God will forgive them. So they can commit any crime, indulge in anything. Look, I can beat my chest. The reason why our country, Nigeria, is in the state it is today is because of religion. And majority of you guys are Christian. I have seen Christians indulge in crime. I have been to prison 3 times. And in prison that I have been, I saw more Christians and Muslims committing terrible crimes. And when I engage them, I just shake my head. And you know one thing? They pray the most. They pray the most. And do you know why they pray? Because their conscience is pricking them. And that's why I keep telling you that there is nobody, no human, no external person that controls you, that you will ever become normal. If you have a God somewhere that is telling you to do the right thing or the wrong thing, that's you are literally a robot, and you do these things because of consequences. You are talking about as a humanist. When I hear people talking about Jesus Christ is a perfect example for humanity, I laugh. Jesus has never. When I was evolving from Christianity, when I was evolving from Christianity to humanity, the first thing I did was I thought Jesus was a humanist. I thought, until I started studying his life, I said, no, Jesus never wasn't even a humanist. Of course, you know the story is even a fictional story, but even looking at it as a fictional story, Jesus did terrible things. He had no love for humanity. I have seen, if you remember, Jesus Christ himself, there was a woman that had issue, and Jesus Christ told her that he's not here for everybody. He came here just for the household of Israel. He ignored her, but the woman appealed. He said, even crumbs are given to dogs. That was how Jesus reached out to her. And Jesus also talked about a city, how he instructed everybody to buy them, to kill everybody in that city. So if you are talking about the humanist, Jesus Christ never, he was not a perfect example of love. Never, don't go there. And as a humanist, this is what makes us different. We believe in communism. Nobody becomes the standard. Nobody is the standard for humanity. Humanity is unique. Individually, we are unique. And when you talk about purpose, there is no purpose for anything. If you think there is purpose, a child that is born at 001, 002, maybe 2 years old child that have not known anything, that child that we buy, like the child we unalive. To tell you that there is no purpose. Somebody can unalive at the age of 50, at the age of 10, at the age of 100. So if there is purpose, you now understand that the person we start, that when I mean purpose now, I'm talking about your concept and context of purpose. If there is purpose the way you said, I tell you, nobody will die at the age of 2 or 3. People will literally die after they have fulfilled their purpose. So I want you to really calm down, because the concept of God has really messed up with your mind. And let me tell you, the society we are in today is where it is because of Christians. Christianity has messed up the morality standard of the society. If I am to engage him now, seriously, even I don't know whether he's married. If you find out he may be dating one church girl or the other, maybe coming to his house to wash his clothes for him because they call him man of God. So these things, we know them. And I have seen pastors that in their office they sleep. No, just calm down. I have seen pastors that even in their office they sleep with young ladies, and because the blood of Jesus is always there to have mercy on them, So when it comes to morality, Christians should not even show face at all. Wow. You guys are the most dubious set of people. No, I'm being honest. I've been a Christian. You don't forgive. You don't forgive. You don't even love. No, come on, Chima. Your name is Chima. Yeah. I have engaged you several times on the platform. So if you understand love, outside of God that we know, most of the things you guys do, you do things like robots. You do things you love because God asked you to love. You don't love because you want to love. So when people love like that, the love is not sure. So you can't be a humanist. You can't be a humanist when you can't serve
Wow.
two masters. You can't serve God and love humanity at the same time, because one way or the other, instruction will come from God and you will ignore humanity. I've seen people, I remember people will be going to church and said, okay, because I'm going to church, I won't, and they call them for emergency. Maybe they are doctors or maybe doing most of these essential services. And they'll say, no, I'm going to church. It's my church time, so I have no time for you. So all of these can tell you that, look, most Christianity, when I see them, I see them as folks that are under a spell. And that's my closing remarks.
Wow. Well, thank you, Mr. Daniel, and thank you, Mr. Chima. We have to stop at this time because of the time, but we'll pick it up. Mr. Daniel, one of the things tomorrow is you have to answer the question about the historicity of the Bible and if there's any validity there. Because when you talk about the existence of God as a Christian, we're using the Bible, right? So tomorrow, why don't we talk about those issues as well? But thank you for this evening and the opportunity to hear you share. We look
Yeah,
forward to talking to you tomorrow, God willing.
yeah. Thank you so much. I think maybe by tomorrow we have to test run on time so that we
Yes.
we we we,
Yeah.
we are sure that all the gadgets are working, so
Okay.
that
Maybe 15,
Chima will
20
not.
minutes.
And he can
Oh,
also
Maybe
be on Restream.
15, 20
And
minutes
sorry,
before.
can he also be on Restream so that you
Yes.
can share it directly? Like you can be on this Restream so that this Restream connects all your app, your YouTube, everything together. Like it's live on my YouTube now. It's an app.
okay,
So you
okay.
can
Maybe
do it.
I'll do
You
that
can
tomorrow.
make
You didn't tell me on time. I wanted to install it before. You said
because
I
the
can
way
just
I
connect.
was chatting you now, it was just Facebook. I wanted to ask for your WhatsApp number. I was like, if I ask now, maybe it's like I'm too forward. So I was just being careful
You,
because you
you, you
only
see,
reply once. You know.
I am a very simple person. Very, very simple. More
So I
simple
don't
than
want to.
you Christians.
Okay.
So feel very free. If you have asked for my WhatsApp, I will gladly send it to you, man. I'll send it.
Well, no
Okay.
problem.
Okay. So
Well, I'll
that
let
so
you
that
guys
so
chat.
that bro, I can we can see how he can fix his restream. So we'll work on that
Yes.
so that
Yeah, we'll start
tomorrow it
20,
will be
20
live on
minutes
your
before
page.
time. We'll
Okay.
sort it out.
No wahala. No
We'll
Well,
sort
wahala.
it
thank you
out.
so much. Have a
All
good
right.
night. Have a
Thank you
blessed
so
All
night.
much.
right.
Take care.
Thank you,
Bye
All right.
man.
bye.
Good night. Good
Thank you.
night.
See you then.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Let me just go. Give me 1 second. I need to stop the stream. Um and okay, let me go back to this and then I'll be on touch. Let me